Spring. Have you ever noticed how every year it always seems to arrive just at the right time? And no matter how often you've seen it happen, it always comes as a welcome surprise that the sun can feel so warm and the earth can smell so good. Hey, and isn't it great to see all the wildlife back again and hard at work on their spring cleaning chores? No matter where you live, spring's a time for shaking off those cabin fever blues and getting out and enjoying the outdoors again, especially if you're a fisherman. Like me. Hi, I'm Winkelman, and thanks so much for joining me on this very special Fishing Secrets video. You know, I love fishing all year round, not only for its own sake, but because each season has its own unique set of problems to decipher and solve. Now, I don't know about you, but I love a challenge. And there's few things in this world more challenging to a sportsman than figuring out spring fishing. Why is that? Well, the primary reason is that there are three very distinct phases that all game fish go through in spring, and they all drastically affect the fish's location and feeding habits. These phases are defined as pre-spawn, spawn, and post-spawn periods, and they're not dictated by the calendar. Instead, they're triggered by water and climatic conditions, which can vary widely depending on where you do your fishing. Now, most game fish spend much of their winters in a semi-dormant state, sitting close to the bottom in deeper waters. But as the days become longer and warmer, lakes that have been frozen for months slowly begin to open up. As the water warms, the spawning urge that's programmed into all fish begins to assert itself, except for salmon and trout who spawn in fall. And they begin to feed actively to prepare themselves for the strenuous days ahead. This is known as the pre-spawn period, and these feeding binges can signal some of the best fishing of the year, especially in areas that warm up the earliest. Areas like wind-protected bays with dark bottoms, shallow channels between lakes or bays, or the back portions of coves. When the pre-spawn is in full flower, both males and females will be feeding very aggressively. Obviously then, fish populations will be very vulnerable at this time, and in areas where pre-spawn fish are not protected, we should all try to practice catch and release fishing as much as possible. I like to keep a few of the smaller tasty ones for the dinner table, but I carefully release the rest so they can successfully spawn. This helps to ensure good fishing in that water, and besides, I get to go fishing a little more often than the average guy. Okay, now the actual spawn period comes next, and it begins when the water temperature reaches a certain temperature. It's the single key element in determining when a fish will spawn. And every species is triggered by a different temperature. In fact, the very reason that different fish can coexist in the same body of water is that they don't do the exact same things at the exact same times in the exact same places. Of the game fish, northern pike spawn first, often while ice still covers the main lake. Next come the walleye, then the largemouth bass, the smallmouth bass, the muskie, the crappie, and the bluegill. Now, during stable conditions, this spawning period may last several days for an individual fish and several weeks for the species. And in case you haven't heard, this is often a lousy time to go fishing. I mean, let's face it, when it's time to spawn, nothing else seems very important, and most feeding activity virtually comes to a halt. In fact, the only bites you're likely to get at this time are from males who always vastly outnumber the females and are considerably more active during the spawn. But keep in mind, they are where they are because of spawning, not feeding. Food is secondary. Now, to find these fish, you not only have to know their preferred spawning habitat, you also have to know their second, third, and fourth choices. This is critical because the urge to reproduce is so strong that they'll utilize less desirable sites before giving up and reabsorbing their eggs. Yes, you heard me correctly. Some fish of every species every year, for various reasons, don't spawn. But the females have the ability to dissolve and reabsorb the eggs back into their body and then start to prepare for the coming year. Nature always has a system of checks and balances. Immediately following the spawn is the post-spawning period. Generally speaking, this is a time of transition and recuperation. During this time, many big females will head for deeper water and some R&R, while the males of some species, like members of the sunfish family, will stay and protect the nest and its fry for up to a month. Still other fish will be moving into feeding sites like emerging weed beds. Obviously, you need to do some studying about the basic nature of each fish and be able to second-guess their whereabouts. Each species is definitely different. Now, on this first outing for spring fish, I'm going to be joining a fisherman I personally admire and am proud to have as an advisor of my good fishing research team, Big John Christensen of Nisswa, Minnesota. We're going after John's favorite fish, the largemouth bass, and the secret we'll be sharing with you is the most critical one in pre-spawn fishing, namely, where the heck are they? Stick around and see where we found them. Get those weeds out here.
Oh, that's a nice little fish.
You can handle it by yourself, right?
Well, I'll try. Come here, Mama. A nice young lady. Not real big, but nice.
I'll tell you what, a lot of tournament boys have enjoyed that. A limit of those during the tournament.
Those are money fish.
Well, that's not right to say that. Money fish.
In a tournament, you get a live well full of them, you're going to make a couple bucks.
Now, that's true. People might get the wrong idea, though. They're fun fish. As I understand this pattern, John, when we find an area where there's one bass, there's going to be probably a whole pile of them.
Well, there'll be a bunch.
But you know, temperature plays such an important role this time of the year that I've found even sometimes as little as 1 degree can make a drastic difference. Haven't you? You want to move out this way a little bit?
Especially this time of year when the water's so darn cold. See, they're laying probably in about 18 inches of water out there. Should be one there, babe.
Oh, I can just feel it eyeing it. You know he's going to hit it, that sucker. You want to trim that back motor? Well, I guess we don't have to. It's plenty deep.
There he is.
I seen him take it, John. I seen him take it.
That's a nice fish.
Yes, I see that. It's a beautiful bass.
Just love catching bass. I don't care how big they are. Go on, Mama.
I just happened to be watching at that time. That's a nice bass.
There's more than one out there.
I know it. There are 2 or 3 at least. You know, there's
well, he isn't all that big either. It's a nice little two, though. Give my regards to Mama.
Now, it's been obvious that John and I haven't been fishing any open water areas, and that's the key to early season largemouth. The first place to look for these fish are small, shallow, wind-protected bays because they warm quickly. Start looking first on the north and west sides of the lake, but remember, the best bays will have dark organic bottoms. Oh, and by the way, fishing will generally be best in the afternoon.
There's a bunch of big fish in here.
I know it. They're
going to be up. There'll be some laying off of that bank right inside of us there.
Oh, look at the wake over there. Look at it. Ah!
You got him?
Oh, John, that's a giant. Gee, do you see that wake?
Yeah, just like a big old torpedo coming after.
That's a huge
That's
fish.
a big fish. Yeah, that's a big one.
This is a big fish.
Ooh, she's nice. Ooh, look at that thing wallow.
Man. Oh, John.
That's a dandy. Bring it on.
Look at the size of that fish.
That's a scrapper.
Oh.
Well, let him bite your finger. That is a pretty one.
Now,
Isn't that pretty?
6 pounds, you better all eat this thing raw.
That's pretty close.
Look at this.
Just barely in the lip. Isn't she nice?
I seen that wake coming. The water swelled up about a foot behind.
You want to jerk first?
I mean, boy,
That's a
what
beauty.
a beautiful fish.
That's what it's all about. You keep waiting for one like that.
Go on. Look at that.
There she goes.
Look at that thing.
See a dandy.
Oh, man.
What does
It
motor?
doesn't make any difference how many bass you caught. You know?
You get one that size, it tickles you.
Boom, 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 boom. Oh, look at the minnows coming out of the water. There's got to be one working there somewhere. Look at the roll. Come on, hit it.
What do you really think that the spinnerbait is imitating back here for these bass?
Nothing.
It doesn't look like a minnow.
No, it doesn't look like anything in the water. I don't think they're coming after it initially because it's imitating food. I think it's the vibration. I know it's the vibration coming off of the blade itself. Boom, 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 boom. And that'll call them from distances. That's why we're seeing those wakes. I'm telling you, my heart's going 200 miles an hour.
Been a while, huh?
Oh, it feels so good. Been fishing everything else but bass.
Where's one? Ah, that's a pickle.
Oh, that's a pickle?
Yeah. He did me a favor and got off.
Ooh, look at that one work up there.
Yeah.
Come on. Oh, I got a reed hanging on my spinnerbait. No wonder he didn't hit. But there's a good one here. Right out in here, John, there was a big one marked. I suppose it depends upon the day. I was going to ask you, you find the channel back here better, or the pads, or the flats, or different kinds of vegetation?
Well, after this cold front, I really thought this channel would be a little better than what it is. The bass seem to have slipped back up on top, though. Apparently a little warmer.
We need it. Another fish here. The adrenaline's slowing down to about a mild 180, and I can't have that. You devil. Right out there, John. One bumped it twice from behind.
Well, I wouldn't want to take your fish.
Sure you would.
No, I would, yeah.
Well, this isn't a tournament. I mean, we're just doing this for fun. She nudged it. I felt her nudge it, but not hit it.
You know, some of them are extremely aggressive, and the others, there don't seem to be any happy in between. Either they don't want it at all, or they just smash it.
Well, I think a lot of times they can be sitting there, and that vibration triggers them a particular way at that particular moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think they're just certain periods while they're up. Oh, I seen that one hit too. Good
nice fish.
Good fish.
Look at the size of that. You must have hit that thing right beside the boat.
Oh, you did.
You came out of that bunch of pads that followed it 5 or 10 feet.
That's another big fish. You want to jump one more time? Go ahead.
Sure.
Good girl. If you think you can get away, that's good, because I'm going to put you back anyhow.
Isn't that a pretty fish? Look at the size of that thing. Now, how big is that? Careful now.
At least 9 pounds.
That's your fish.
No, it's maybe a solid 4. There you go, big guy. Ah! Yes, sir. This is called bass fishing. All 3 of those big fish, I've got it, no, that's not true. 2 of the 3. That other one just lamb-blasted it where I didn't even think I was going to get a bite way outside the pads.
There's one.
Good one.
Come on, fish. Oh, that's a scrapper.
I'm clean it off and wait for you.
Look at that.
There's a weight coming after mine. Oh,
just barely. Oof.
I got it.
Look at that one, babe.
Woo!
She pretty?
Yeah,
we're going to send you back home. Nice fish.
Hey, that was a super nice fish. In fact, they all were. And you'll notice something else? We released all of them back to the water. Catch and release fishing is something a frequent angler should practice year-round. In the pre-spawn period, it should go without saying that all large game fish, with the exception of a true wall hanger, be safely and swiftly returned to the water to ensure a successful spawn. Besides, the big old female full of eggs is not going to be your best eating anyway. Now for this next segment, we're going to go after one of those fish everyone loves to chase in the spring, the walleye. Pay close attention to this segment, because we're going to be covering a lot of tips that'll help you tie into these normally finicky customers. I'll be joining my brother Dave on this trip, and the main secret to look for is the bait system we use to catch walleyes in the newly emerging weed beds. Fishing walleyes with my brother Dave, and we're fishing a kind of a unique pattern. The walleyes come up on the new forming weed beds early in the season. They chase schools of minnows up in there, and minnows are in there feeding on insects and insect larvae, and the walleyes do some of that as well. We've got a bait system here, just standard walking Lindy sinker here with a little swivel clip on it, and a little floating quiver jig. It's got some floss on the back, various colors of floss that you can use, various colors of jigs. The key to this is when you throw the bait out, we put a leech or crawler or minnow on the back, throw it out, leave it soak for a while, and that little quiver jig will float it up above the top of the weed growth. And then you can just kind of nurse it back into the boat, and that thing will keep it up in full view, full vision of the walleyes. You get a hit, you just leave them have it for a bit and set the hook. It's a simple system. Works any place in the country that you got walleyes and you got weeds. It's just a neat system. I think you'll like it. It's a walleye. Nothing net. Well, I don't know if I need the net on this one. Nobody says all the fish you catch are giants. But he does have eyes on him that glow. Little feller. Where's the rod straight? Normally, some areas of the lake will attract walleye sooner than others. You're looking for water temperatures in the 58 to 62 degree range. On a typical lake, this spot would be my first choice, especially for big fish. First, it's adjacent to the shallow marshy area, which warms much faster than the main lake. Second, it's located on the north side of the lake, so it has natural protection from the cold front winds. Third, it has quick access to deep water. And finally, it offers an excellent holding area for the fish to rest when they're not active. Main lake weed beds will also attract schools of walleye, but usually they won't turn on until a week or so later, after the main body of the lake warms more. For the most part, the walleye will spend their non-feeding time in deep water, laying tight to the bottom near some type of structure. When they make their move towards the feeding area, they usually take the most direct route. Once there, they roam the weed bed for a while to get acclimated to the warmer water. Then they're ready to sit down to the dinner table. Casting in front of the roaming school is usually your best approach. Often these spooky shallow water fish will move out of the path of a troll boat. I use a 5.5 to 6 foot light action graphite rod, a spinning reel loaded with 6 or 8 pound clear mono, and 1/8 to 1/4 ounce sinkers. Tie your floater on a 2 to 4 foot snell, depending upon the height of the weed growth, and keep a variety of colors on hand. Bright colors like whites or hot yellow often produce best in clear water, while orange works better in dingy water, and black when it's really overcast. With a squirm and leech impaled on the back, this is one deadly combination.
You got a red on, huh?
No, I've got an orange. It's a fluorescent orange feather on the back with a little black head.
I'm going to put a minnow on you.
No, I'm going to put a leech on.
You got 2 in a row.
Okay.
What's this? You got a pickup again?
He bumped it. He bumped it. He must have spit it out. Still got my leech. And had a little tooth mark on the back. He's chewing on it. See?
I got it hung up in those weeds too.
The same weeds?
I think I got off though.
I got a good one up this time. Right up the edge of those reeds. Right up the edge of those reeds. I don't know if I got one messing with it or if I'm on a weed again. Testing. Oh, it's a fish.
I'll get my line out of there then.
That's a fish.
I haven't had any time to fish.
There he is.
Well, I suppose I should say good shot, but this is kind of ridiculous.
This one ain't near as big. He's a little fella, but he's a nice wally. There's nothing wrong with that. He'll eat. Here's some points to keep in mind for early season weed walleyes. Wind-protected bays warm first. Look for water temperatures of 58 to 62 degrees. Fish the newly forming deep weed beds. Sneak up on the fish, preferably with an electric trolling motor. Use float and quiver jigs and leeches with light tackle. And finally, remember that big fish like quick access to deep water. Hey, if you like to catch walleye, give this good fishing pattern a try. I think you'll find it's dynamite. Hey, if you fish in or around weed beds, those lindy little quiver jigs are just a ticket. But now, for something completely different, let's go out for a late spring foray for one of America's favorite catches, the good old catfish. The main secret we'll be sharing in this segment is how to entice them out of those underwater tangles that they're so often found in.
Well, babe, we've hit it here darn near 15 minutes. If you don't hit a fish here in 15 minutes, we had that one bite, but they aren't too aggressive, and we haven't hit one, so I think it's time to move on. Or find another snag. We'll find some fish that are ready for breakfast. What they want to eat, I don't know. They may be stink baits, maybe liver, but let's go feed some fish breakfast.
Did you bring some liver?
Why, sure.
Oh, God.
I've got a whole cafeteria in that lunchbox there.
Cafeteria?
You betcha. I've got liver and I've got chicken hearts,
that takes a lot of guts to call that a cafeteria.
Got a lot of guts in there, too. Chicken guts, mostly.
Oh, num.
Well, in the summer months, as we move into it, we're fishing a lot of snags in the evening and in the morning. It gets a lot muggier. You just don't want to be out here sitting in the heat of the day. So we got to work a lot around the snags, riffles in the evening, fishing a lot of stink bait and frogs and crayfish. I think you got one working there, babe. The rod on the left. I think you got one there. I'm sure you had a bite there. I'm sure I saw that thing pop.
He's there.
Hit him. Yeah, you got him. You got him.
Oh, he's in that tree over there.
Let's get this other
one. Yeah, is there one on that rod?
I don't know.
Here.
Get this line out of here. Need a net?
No, I got him out of the tree. When I hit him, I moved his head. He was right back up underneath that floating mess there.
Gee, that's fun with ultralight.
Everything is fun. You know, I used to fish heavy rods when I was fishing tournaments all the time. Man, I could take a fish and I could just skip him.
Yeah.
I'm having so much fun catching fish on ultralights. Don't be in any hurry.
You want to play him, huh?
Well, look at this. Just pounding away, trying to crawl underneath the boat.
That's some of the finest eating you're ever going to see at the other end of that line.
I'm just going to let him play here a little bit.
Yeah.
He's all right. Go ahead, scoop.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, he's barely in the barbel there or something.
Oh, it's barely hooked.
He's barely... You know, with these cats, and I don't know, from an audience standpoint, I think I want to take just a second here and show, because there's a lot of people that watch your show, Ted, that don't fish cats. Catfish have got very sharp fins here, here, and here. You get one of those in your hands and you can get infection from it. So if you grab them by laying this one back down against their body, and then your fingers like so and so on either side, you can get a real solid grip on the fish and you'll never have to worry about getting stabbed by those things. I don't know about you, Ted, but I've known of people getting really bad cases of infection. Fish poisoning, they call it. From getting stabbed by these, or like the sharp fins on walleyes and stuff too. That's a nice little channel cat.
Oh, you betcha. You'll be a good eater.
Not quite like Selkirk, Manitoba, however.
Well, we're fishing for the pan today.
It's true. Throw them in there. Move your...
Put them in the box with it.
Now I got to glob some more of that stuff on here, don't I?
This is wonderful.
And let me try a little bit of...
Yeah, I had one on too. He pulled me into some stuff.
Put a little bit more of this stuff on.
Yeah, that little stinker bait has opened catfishing to a lot more people. Used to be people use a lot of these messy old stink baits, and that little stinker is not so bad.
Well, any of them, any kind of a stink bait. I'm just putting globs of it on here.
But you can wear a three-piece suit and use that stuff.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to wear the three-piece suit again for the smell.
Well, my wife wouldn't clean it for me, I'll tell you that.
I got it in the right spot this time.
Oh, yeah. In the honey hole.
It's got to sit right in front of those brakes.
Yeah.
And pull them up, you know?
Yeah, they're right back in it, and they won't come very far out. The sun's come up a little bit, the heat of the day, they're gonna sit in pretty tight to it, babe, so we got to get right in there on them. Using light tackle like this, we got to be right on top of them. They'll tow us into the stuff like that one of mine just did.
Well, I'm going to have to check my other bait out here. See how I'm doing.
Yeah, that is fairly common.
Some stuff there.
I don't know why. It seems when they turn on, you're going to get 2 or 3 rods pop at once. You might sit there for 10 minutes and get nothing. All of a sudden, they all go.
The secret to getting the cats out of the underwater tangles they live in was to position our boat upstream and let our stink baits lay in the current just in front of these spots. And soon, the smell of our baits would draw the catfish out of their tangled homes where we could catch them without getting hung up.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Get back, Loretta. Here we go. Take it. Take it. Take it. Okay, he's there.
Any bigness?
I feel like a good eater.
Another cat.
Yeah. About the same size. They're running about the same.
No, that one's definitely smaller.
Good eater.
Definitely smaller. At least an ounce, maybe an ounce and a half smaller, something like that.
Well, if I'd known you brought the big frying pan, I'd have cut a bigger one.
Here, do you want me to net him?
Yeah, we better. He's not hooked too good. Beauty.
Now, if a guy's going to have fried catfish, that's...
Yeah, a lot of times you don't grab them right, they'll hook you back. You get them right ahead of them.
Well, I figured a lot of times when we get one happening, we can get two happening.
And another one goes in the box.
You know what we might ought to do?
What?
Just give this a few more minutes. It seems like whoops, what have I got here?
Another one?
No, it was hung up. Give it a couple more minutes and then run down to another spot.
Yeah.
Is it possible you need to like make a milk run on these puppies?
Milk run?
Yeah, I mean like take one here and one there and one there and two here,
Yeah.
etc. And you kind of just go spot, 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 spot.
Sometimes you can suck 10 or 12 out of one hole. Sometimes it's one or two. You just gotta, if you don't...
Sometimes it's none. I found that out too.
Oh yeah, well,
and we had a
you just
couple of
gotta
those
keep throwing
holes.
it around. General rule of thumb, you wait 15 minutes. If you don't have a fish in 15 minutes or a bite, it's time to move. Oh, you hit him.
Oh, what is this?
You hung up? Is that a snag?
No, this is a fish. This is a fish. If I can get my little thing underneath that tree, this is a fish.
That is a fish.
Holy cow!
That's a nice one, babe. That's a nice one. That's a nice one. We'll play around here.
I don't want to push him too hard.
Keep him out of that jungle, babe. Keep him out of that jungle.
He's sure wrestling like one. He's just wallowing back there.
I figured we'd take a nice one out of this hole. Seems like every time I fish here, we
There
get
he
one.
is back there. Look at him back there in the water.
He ain't giving an inch.
He ain't giving much. I want to make sure I can get... Yeah, there.
He's going to run for that jungle.
No, I got the line out from under... It was hooked in these trees here.
Gee, they're fun on ultralight, aren't they?
Look at that. I got it bent about in a square knot. I haven't even got him yet.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Oh,
We
he's
better
got-
not count him till we get him in.
He's got the line back in that tree again. Oh, there he is. That is a nice guy.
That is a nice one.
Oh, no, he's got that line hooked up in the tree. I can't reel him over top of that tree.
Oh, we got our hands. Oh,
there it popped
that
off.
was a break. We got a break there.
Look at him wallow. It's a good cat.
That's a nice cat. That's a channel. Let me get back here, babe. We don't want to miss this one.
We ain't gonna miss this one. I got him now. Me and my little buggy whip are gonna just whip him. He's back along. That's a good cat.
Darn right. You get in here.
Let me try and pull him to you. Look at him just rolling and wallowing.
Yeah.
Come on, baby. In you go. Get him?
Yeah.
Good shot. Good shot. That's a respectable catfish, Ted.
Well, you can count on getting one that size, and I'm glad we got one.
Oh, that's a good cat.
They go 4 or 5 pounds, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Nice fish, nice fish.
That was a great fish, and for eating it was about as big as you want. You know, all in all, catfish are great. I mean, what's not to love about these guys? They're abundant, challenging, good eating, and they frequently grow to the giant economy size. Okay, now before we go on our last spring fishing trip, let's pay a short visit to my wife Charlie's kitchen and see what she's cooking up from her Strictly Fish cookbook.
Now here's a recipe that's been around for a long time. Matter of fact, your grandma might have made this one for you. It is called buttermilk crisp fillets. So grab a pencil and paper so you can jot this one down. Now here's a list of the ingredients you'll need. 2 pounds of fish fillets, enough buttermilk to cover the fillets, 1 cup of Bisquick mix, salt and pepper, and shortening or oil. First, soak your fillets in buttermilk. Then heat your oil to about 375 degrees. Now, drain your fillets. And now salt and pepper. Next, dread them in the Bisquick mix. And then put them into your hot oil. Then deep fry until brown and tender. Buttermilk crisp fillets. They've been around a long time, and I know why. Try them, you'll like them.
Hey, I definitely like the looks of that. In fact, I don't believe I've ever had a dish out of this great little cookbook that I didn't enjoy. Later on in this tape, we'll show you how to get a copy for yourself. But first, let's rejoin Big John Christensen for some more spring bass fishing. You're going to love this one because I don't know a single fisherman who doesn't get a special thrill at the sight and feel of a largemouth bass hitting a topwater lure. The secret I want you to pay special attention to is how to most effectively set the hook on aggressive spring fish.
John, look it up here. There's a wake.
Well, and look, they're all over the place.
The bass are moving. You know, there's so many ways to catch a bass, but I don't think there's anything as exciting as topwater fishing.
All of us started topwater, you know. I think everybody started.
Well, and when people remember bass fishing, I think they remember that explosive jump and strike and everything more than anything than they remember about bass.
Well, there's bass moving ahead of us.
I know there is.
All kinds of them.
Well, I think the hook is fouled. Don't hit it now.
Look at there. Look up ahead of us. Look at them. They're all over ahead of us.
I'm just going to leave us back
Yeah,
here
now
and
just
try
don't-
and coax
yeah.
up. One rolled right up there.
I wouldn't go in too much further. Let's work this a little. This is one of those honey holes that you just don't use often, but when you want to have fun. Look at that. Feel those fish move. Oh, and back in the shallows is full of them.
I know. We could probably catch them on a spinnerbait here just as well, but
Oh, I want to see him come up and slam this
so
thing.
do I. It's a good clear day, and with the Polaroids, you can watch the bait come back almost all the way. You can even see him sneak up behind it sometimes. Ooh, got a good cast out there. That'll do it. How much gonna
Oh, you got something moving right underneath it.
I seen it
You're
go.
looking at it. Look at there, right by that bait fish.
Come on.
Is he going
You
to do
just
it?
know he's going to bust it.
Well, you had your chance.
Go after it.
Oh, there he got it. There we go.
I seen him come up and bump it with his nose.
He had his nose right underneath it.
You seen it at the same time
Yeah.
I did, long before I set the hook. Come on, little feller. I'm going to put you back here. Oh, he's not a bad little bass. Boy, they
Well,
scrap on this light tackle. But you know, this is much more fun than
it's a light tackle fish.
winching the fish.
Let's see if there's another one right there.
I'm sure there is. Hang on here, little guy.
He must have hit that with his nose 2 or 3 times, and he finally decided, well, whoop, there we go. I got one.
You got one too?
Yeah. He did the same thing. Oh,
Ooh.
a scrapper. He's not.
No, this one
He's
is
not
neither.
very
But
big.
hey, this is a lot of fun. You know, if the average guy can go out and catch bass like this, I don't know if they care if they're all lunkers. Nobody goes out and catches a lot of big bass every time they go fishing. It's a good idea.
That's
I mean,
always
I'd
the
like to
goal to catch big bass. He doesn't always
Look at that
do it.
bait lay there. You know there's one going to come up and take a little swipe.
Going to hit her. Oh, there's a weight coming from your left.
I know it. I see it.
There he is.
Oh boy, up he comes. You just knew any bit of brush or cover, old
Guarantee
bucket
there's
mouse is
gonna
going to
be
be.
one
Hey,
there.
there's a good bass right alongside it. Throw in by mine.
Oh, wait a minute here.
There's 2 of them there.
He's
3
right
of them.
behind it. Right there.
There's John. There's a half a
I
dozen
see
of them.
'em.
Look at them.
See if I can get him to take.
No, they're following the dummy in. Get out of here.
They followed it right in, and they didn't want this other one.
No, but there's a whole bunch of them there.
Oh, yeah, there's
Boy,
a
this
number.
guy wanted it. And
Number
he
of
climbed
fish.
all over it.
I'm going to sneak up alongside of you for a second.
In the storage box back there's a little pliers. In the front little storage box, would you grab that, please?
Are you kidding? Out of this storage box?
Hey, it's a big one.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Well, there's the dog in there
Dog's
yet,
still
eh?
in there.
Well, I know I should do a little house cleaning, but I get out here fishing, I get excited about it, and I just never take the time to organize that sucker, you know?
Here, oh, I can't believe I found him.
Yeah, it should have been right on top. I just don't want to hurt this little fella. Someday he may grow up to be a real big bass, and I might want to catch him again Boy, that's some kind of exciting bass fishing. I had to take a break here to get my pulse back to normal. And I also wanted to tell you a tip that's critically important when you're fishing surface lures for largemouth bass. And that's simply, don't try to set the hook too fast. If you go to set the hook when you see or hear the splash, you won't catch 10% of the fish on that strike. But if you wait just a split second until you feel the tug on your line and then set the hook, a lot more of those bass will wind up in your boat. I'm going to take his pliers, John, and bend these barbs back on that hook. I mean, if they get off, so what? We're going to put them back anyway.
Yeah.
And this way we don't hurt him so much. And these hooks on this little bait fish, I mean, are needle sharp.
I know I've hooked myself with 12 twice already.
There, I think should be all of
Here,
them.
let me bend these back too.
Because the least we can hurt them and the more we can use them for a little bit of fun here, the better I like it. Oh, John, look at this.
I can't, I'm busy.
Well, I can.
I knew you wouldn't wait for me.
Twitch, twitch,
right.
hit. Come on, twitch, twitch.
There.
He knocked it sideways and I missed him.
You know, I should be fishing some. It's
No,
always
go
fun
ahead
to
and
watch.
just watch. That's okay.
No, I want to fish too.
Oh, there he is. I seen him come and take it that time. Couldn't even see him. He just come up and he rolled on it and I seen that bait go sideways. Come on, guy. Go ahead.
You don't want to
How
fight?
high can you jump? Not very high, huh?
No,
Well,
he's-
then maybe he isn't done.
He
I
doesn't
thought
know
he
he's
was.
hooked yet.
Where'd I put that pliers now again?
Here. There you go.
Thank you, sir. Boy, and you see him roll on that thing?
Yeah.
That's what's nice about a bait like this bait fish, you know? You can fish it on the top like a surface bait. You can jerk it and twitch it and so forth like that and get a darting action. You can give it a straight swimming retrieve, a stop and go retrieve. You can appeal to so many of the bass's striking instincts. And this bait fish has got to be...
Well, that time you were just twitching it.
Uh-huh.
I've tried the straight retrieve, and I haven't had a bump on a straight retrieve.
Well, I'm trying... Ooh!
There you go.
He missed... No, he rolled and missed it. I jerked it out of his mouth. That's what happened. I seen him jump.
He's coming right back. There's the swirl.
I seen him jump.
There's another one coming out from the left.
Yep, I see him.
There.
Nope, you missed it. Come on, guys.
Believe it.
You guys got to be better than that. He rolled and missed.
What am I doing? I got a lure laying out there in the water. Not even working it.
Ooh, look at way in the back of the pool.
I think your lure's gone.
I couldn't see it. I'm sitting
I
there wondering
pushed
where'd
it
it
and
go.
never came back up.
Oh, yeah.
That's not a monster, but it's a nice fish.
Hey, that's a good fish.
A fighter, anyway.
Sure, he's a couple pounds maybe. Look at him, a little bit of moss. Go ahead. You don't have to sit here and watch me.
Oh, I know it, but it's fun.
Come on, you got one more good jump in. If you can shake off, you can go away. That's okay.
No, he doesn't want to.
Now, I think I'll bring him in here.
Back under the old willow tree with an
Yeah,
orange.
wrapped right around the transducer cord.
Oh, look at him hit the orange. Well,
The
now I
weather-
gotta wake out from the left, coming out to visit.
The weather's changing. You notice that? That cloud bank moving in?
It sure is.
There he is. Get him?
Yeah.
Ooh, good one, huh?
No, just a nice one.
I heard him snap it, and I looked over, and about that time you were just setting the hook.
You wouldn't believe how I have this one. Make a heck of a live bait rig for a muskie. You know, babe, why this? Why the bait fish? Why not some of the other types that are out?
Minnow baits, you mean?
Yeah, they call them minnow baits, I guess. But
Well, all of them are minnow baits. It doesn't make any difference who manufactures them, but like this bait fish here, that little shovel lip on the front of it, it gives it a totally different type of an action than the minnow baits that have the lips coming out of the bottom. And for the bass like this, for twitching, you can twitch it on the top. When you give it one little snap, that shovel on the front just digs down, and it really digs into it. And it'll give it a quick, like this, the back of the body goes, and then you can just give it about a 6-inch dive and let it back off, and it'll float back. It just got a unique action. I've found that the bait fish will trigger more.
well, I'll tell you
strikes.
what, the fish are taking it today.
Oh, it's fun, particularly in this clear water when you can see them sneak up behind it.
Look at there, babe, by the bog. Look at, there it is. We got it.
Boy, that looks
Ooh,
like a good one, John.
Well, I can't tell. He's in some junk too. Well, there he is, babe. I don't know
Oh,
if
boy,
we're
John,
gonna...
that looks like a better fish.
He's in the junk right now. I don't know if he's gonna come up or not.
Want me to go in after him for you?
It's pretty shallow in there.
Ooh, that's a bigger fish.
He's swimming. You know, this light tackle.
Oh, there he's coming up. You know he's gonna do it.
I just don't dare get on him too much.
He come right out of that same area that last
Same
fish
area
I
yours
caught
was
with
in. They might have been together there. Who knows? There he comes.
He's coming up again.
There he is. Come on,
That's
lady.
a big fish.
Yeah, she's nice.
That's a big old mama.
Yep. I'll see if I can lose my...
She's got that bait hooked on her top lip and her bottom lip, swimming with her mouth open.
Trying to take it crossways, were you? Holy smokes.
God darn, I tell you what, they're just about nothing as exciting as topwater bass
If you got,
fishing.
throw me that pliers, would you, babe? I don't want to hurt her.
I threw a cast back up in that same spot. If there was two, maybe there's three. Nice fish, by the way.
Oh. There she is. She's pretty, huh? Just love them. I
know,
love
those
these
little
bass.
bait fish minnow baits, man. I'm telling you, those things are decent.
Look at there. See you next year.
See you in 10 minutes if that's all right with you. I'm gonna get us back up and we're drifting a little bit, John.
Yeah. See if we can get back
As
up.
a matter of fact, I'm gonna scoot up this way a little bit and let us come back.
Okay. We haven't worked that area across
Nope.
there yet.
Not yet.
You been saving that, have you?
Having enough fun yet?
I'm having a ball.
No question about it. Having a ball is the name of the game when you're bass fishing with topwater lures, especially when you've done your homework and become the educated angler you can be. In fact, here at Babe Winkelman Productions, teaching America to fish is our motto. It's what we do, and to that end, we've developed a whole line of terrific products that'll teach you how to catch more fish and have more fun doing it. Watch and see.
In addition to the Fishing Secrets video collection, Babe has produced 18 tapes in his highly praised Facts of Fishing library. In each tape, Babe couples exciting action with hard-hitting facts and detailed diagrams. If you want to learn all you can about catching your favorite fish, or just want to be entertained, the Facts of Fishing library has it all. Babe is also the author of 6 books in his comprehensive guide series. Titles include Walleye Patterns, considered by many to be the Bible of modern walleye fishing technique. If you fish walleye, this is one book you won't want to be caught without. Then there's Fishing Canada, the angler's roadmap that unlocks the mysteries of the vast Canadian wilderness. This book reveals Babe's secrets for taking trophy Canadian fish, no matter what species you're after. And then there's Largemouth Bass, the book that delves into Babe's finely honed technique for catching America's favorite fish. From border to border, coast to coast, this is the book that has it all. And then there's Jig and Live Bait Fishing Secrets, in which the basic fundamentals of jig fishing and live bait rigging are covered in Babe's easy-to-understand style. And then there's Babe's comprehensive guide to fish locators. If you're thinking of buying one of these sophisticated fishing sonars, or aren't getting enough out of the ones you already have, you can't afford to be without this book. And finally, the Strictly Fish Cookbook, the one everyone's been talking about. Babe and his lovely wife Charlie have combined talents to put together these terrific fish recipes and more. It covers everything from field care to table fare. And don't forget Babe's Good Fishing audio cassette series, hailed as one of the finest educational tools for anglers of all skill levels. These tapes contain Babe's secrets for catching all of America's favorite game fish. And to see what you've been missing, pick up a pair of his fisherman's favorite polarized sunglasses. Like everything else Babe puts his name on, these are the best there are. With ground and polished glass lenses, side shields, matte finished frames, and their own lanyard and protective floating case. Why, you'll wonder how you ever fished without them. And you can be a part of Babe's Good Fishing research team with official jackets, hats, shirts, patches, and decals. For a free catalog, simply write Babe, Post Office Box 407, Brainerd, Minnesota 56401. That's Babe, Post Office Box 407, Brainerd, Minnesota 56401. Babe's complete line of educational products are available in leading sporting goods stores across the United States and Canada. And remember to watch Babe's Good Fishing TV series, the most exciting and informative fishing show ever filmed. And you can count on Babe Winkelman Productions to continue to be the leader in educational fishing products, because after all, we're the people who are teaching America to fish.
Spring fishing, it really is the cure for cabin fever. It's also a time of incredible complexity in the fish's world. as we've seen, that can make for a great challenge and a great time. So listen, some winter's day when the snow and ice get about 3 feet deep around your place, keep smiling, because spring can't be far behind, and with it, all that great action. And until then, hey, good fishing.